Hello everyone and welcome to our presentation today made by VTS. It's me, Oscar, Tomas, Red One and Sarah. Today we brought a special guest. Her name is Judith and she's from the 22nd century.
Thank you, Oscar. As you mentioned, I'm from the 22nd century. In my time, we all used virtual training to avoid all hazards. When learning how to drive cars, make surgery or training football. For the last 3 years, I've been helping VTS creating software from the future. Today we are presenting our training software for learning how to drive and to make surgery. With this technology, there is no need to gather as a group to play football. In your future, we all live where human contact is not needed, but instead computers have created a way where we can live our lives through virtual reality.
Thank you, Judith. So, we started off by going into a partnership with Oculus Rift. Oculus Rift is a company that has created the hardware that we need in order to implement our software. They have the virtual reality glasses already done. So what we want to do is to create training programs where people can put on the Oculus Rift glasses and log into our software and be able to drive cars and make surgeries and so on. So what we're going to do now is we're going to show you a short clip.
It is widely admitted that surgery is an art. It's a difficult art because you only realize what surgery is when you do it for yourself. When you're a surgeon in training, you attend a lot of surgical procedures, but you're very rarely in the place of the primary surgeon. This project uses virtual reality to improve surgical training by putting the trainee into the shoes of the surgeon.
When you're attending a procedure as an assistant, you always have a task to perform. Whether it's maintaining the leg of a patient or handling instruments, it's very hard to concentrate on the surgery itself. And it can be very difficult to follow what's going on exactly, because you don't see what the surgeon sees.
A small dual camera system was placed on Dr. Gregory's head, where he was performing a total hip replacement. The cameras are approximately at his eye level, so they actually film what he sees. This system records great footage of the surgery in stereoscopic 3D, with a great field of view that will bring this immersive effect when seen with the Oculus Rift.
Watching the scene filmed through the Oculus Rift, you feel like you're in the surgeon's body. You're virtually in the operating theater. You can turn your head in any direction and the 3D scene seems very natural. And if you're more interested in what the nurse or the assistant is doing, just turn your head and you can watch them as well.
We are currently developing a system of live surgery with virtual reality. A surgeon will be able to attend a new surgical procedure performed, for instance, in Paris, in his or her sofa, in the US, in England, or anywhere else in the world. Virtual reality will revolutionize surgical training. Not only initial training, but also experienced surgeons' lifelong training in new techniques.
Now I'm going to tell you how we came up with this idea. A couple of weeks ago, I started to feel a great pain in my lower abdomen. I went to see the doctor who did the MRI and gave me that notice that I had kidney stones. This whole process of doing MRI was very time-consuming and costly. Later that week, I had a coffee with Oscar, Ray and Sarah. We discussed of my issue, and Ray had a couple of weeks ago brought a pair of virtual reality glasses and he was talking about how great they were. After discussing both things separately, we started to talk about how we could merge these two into a solution. Early on, we saw an obvious gap on this market. We all knew that there were big money to be made here, so we sat down a week later at the drawing board to start working on how we could implement this in the real world. Now, 4 years later, after a lot of hard work, we have finally come up with a product that's ready to enter in the market.
VTS. Experience anything, anywhere. Imagine what products like the VTS one will do for the world. The software offers a unique process of learning, where the user faces real-life situations in a virtual reality. This will completely revolutionize all types of practical training. This training process will help to reduce human errors in situations where not even one mistake can be made, such as military situations, sports, medical situations, and social media. These will all be transformed with this technology. We are focusing on the areas of learning at VTS, and today we have created software that manage medical training, and this is ready to cope with the Oculus Rift. So we want to welcome you all to join us at our journey towards the future with extreme market potential and the potential for profit. In the first quarter of 2016, we are going to launch the VTS to the market. Today, we value our company at £200 million. This valuation is made by the initial investments and the time that we have put in. We will now give you guys a chance to buy our shares in our business as we're gathering capital to set up the best sales systems that virtual reality has seen so far. We are obviously going to talk a little bit more and elaborate a little bit more on this sales system later on. But to talk about the product that we have today, which is obviously the medical training program. So what it does, it's that it helps surgeons do surgery in the world of virtual reality. Well, so what does it mean? Well, take today, for example. Today, surgeons are training on dead animals. However, this is very costly, and the animals can only be used once. And on the other hand, it's animals, it's not human beings. But with our product, they can instead do surgery on human beings in a world where one mistake doesn't even matter. And you know what else? They can do it over and over and over again. And it's not going to cost them any more money. So it's saving money and it's saving time. All of what we want in the futuristic world and even today. And talking a little bit about the future here, like obviously the future possibilities are enormous. We are already working on software to train military and as well training driving lessons. So we now have the product that was the solution to the gap in the market. So what gap in the market are we talking about here? Well, first and foremost, we wanted to target the medical training gap. In order to do this, we had to estimate the market. Obviously, we wanted every single medical school in the world to have access to our product. But short-term wise, we wanted to start off with targeting the market in the UK. So, Judith, would you mind filling us in on the market in the UK at the moment? Thank you.
Thank you, Oscar. As you mentioned, I'm from the 22nd century. In my time, we all use virtual training to avoid all hazards. When learning how to drive cars, make surgery or training football. For the last 3 years, I've been helping VTS creating software from the future. Today we are presenting our training software for learning how to drive and to make surgery. With this technology, there is no need to gather as a group to play football. In your future, we all live where human contact is not needed, but instead computers have created a way where we can live our lives with the leading people in the industry. We also plan to post videos on YouTube and on other websites. When this is done, we believe that we will have established contact with prominent people handling these educations. If not, we must take it upon ourselves to create this contact. We should also go exhibitions and fairs, where we can show them our product. We should then try to give free trials, in order for the potential buyers to understand how good our product is and then get them hooked on our product. We should also present calculations where we show how much they save. When they have tried it out for some time, we should be ready to take in investments, to develop more of them, and hopefully they will buy it, so we can start mass producing. The sales process will later become standardized when our product is established in the market. Then we can start to distribute to other countries as well.
Thank you, Judith. You've done us a great lot today, and we really appreciate your help. As she mentioned earlier about the sales process, it's obviously not the normal type of sales process that you will find in another type of company. We have to do it in a bit controversial way, but we find it the best way to do it. Let's turn to distribution here. Ray, sorry, let me just introduce him. Ray is here assisting me a little bit with a board and a pen here. So, the distribution. First off, what we want to do is to create a platform on hard drives where we can gather all of our information about the software. So, our main idea is to copy the thing that Microsoft did for IBM. So, we want buyers to be able to buy a package of our software from the hardware of Oculus Rift. Basically meaning that when you bought Windows 95, you went to the store and you bought a pack of Windows 95 and installed it in your hardware. Today, you don't have to do this. Today, you log in to Oculus Rift and you'll be able to navigate your way from there to buy our software. When it comes to distribution, there is not really a question of how we are going to reach the customers, rather how to come up with a good framework to work with Oculus Rift in order for the customers to find us easily.
I have a question. I think everybody have the same. There is a lot of risk in this company.
Some people call it risk, other people call it opportunity. We obviously like to think about it as opportunity, because the initial risk was obviously taken by the four of us. I'm not counting you on this one. So we put in a lot of money and a lot of our time, actually 4 years of our time. When it comes to you, the investors, it's obviously the risk is about the money. When it comes to outside and external types of risk, obviously you will in the future have someone trying to copy your model, but today we are unique with our product, and it's up to us to gather capital in order to stay ahead of the competition at all times, just as Microsoft did once and actually are continuing to do. Yes, and we have suppliers for the product, obviously, because what we do is we create our own software. So basically we supply ourselves, but when it comes to supplying ourselves, it's about the resources. And when it comes to the resources, it's obviously about the money, the knowledge, and so on. The resources we gather together, the four of us, with an additional bank loan. And the knowledge, actually, we have our guy right here. So this is our computer programmer, Ray. He's the one who had the knowledge. He has a PhD in computer science. And the rest of us, we have knowledge in sales, marketing, and obviously Tomas has knowledge in HR.
So thank you very much, Guy, for this presentation.
You're welcome.
So I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Before you leave us though, would you mind if I tempt you a little bit with the future possibilities?
Of course.
So, what do we want from the future? Well, we want great things, obviously. And when it comes to great things, there is no better thing to use to accomplish these goals than to use the Oculus Rift VTS software. It will train you for all types of things. If we're leaving the 5-year plan behind us and start to look at the 10, 15, maybe 20-year plan, we will see opportunities greater than what the world have ever seen before. We want to be able to create armies. We want to be able to train driving license in 20 years. We want to be the sole provider of the training of this. When it comes to surgery, we want to train all surgeons. We want to be able to train all medical students in whatever they want to do. if it's nursing or if it's surgery or whatever, like a brain transplant, we want to be able to provide them with the practical knowledge from the virtual world. And when it comes to other areas, such as social media, this is obviously a long-term plan that we're working on. But we want to be able to create a social media platform where people can meet and gather together and in groups train. We want them to be able to be at home and conduct military warfare training, obviously, at their home. They don't have to go and see each other to do this. The same goes with sports. We want to have football teams where each player can stay at home and train football by themselves, but they do it on this social media platform where they are working in teams.
So now, thank you very much, Oscar.
No worries.